Big D Entertainment, in association with Dipsy Doodle Productions, presents The Dave Holly Hour, brought to you by Trio Jazz Club, Sioux Falls' premier jazz club. Enter as friends, leave as family. Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, Chasers Food and Spirits, Excel Chiropractic, Quality Nails, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. The Dave Holly Hour features Sioux Empire Arts and Entertainment Conversations. A true lover of arts, entertainment, good food, and fun times, including an occasional Jack Daniels. Okay, so a few Jack Daniels. Here he is, Dave Holly.
Thank you, Zach. Great to have all of you listening along today as we bring entertainment from the stage and the sports field this week. First, we speak with actor Josh Allen as he's in rehearsals for Old Town Dinner Theater's production of The Book of Matthew, Leibowitz. John Gaskins returns to the show to tell us what fun things we can expect at the Birdcage as the Sioux Falls Canaries get ready for their last two homestands before the playoffs. But first, let's pop the cork on this bubbly little show.
Time to grab your favorite beverage, lift it high, and toast it to being Thursday, a.k.a. Weekend Eve.
Hey, the weekend isn't around the corner, it's here!
So long, hump day and your frumpy way. We say hello to Thursdays with opening nights. The weekend is near and we can see the bright lights. Yes, Thursday, you're so hearty, we can't wait for Friday, so a day early, we start the party.
Doesn't matter what you toast with, as we all have different tastes, different times of the day we have to be listening. As for me, you know, it's the usual Jasper Newton. It's Jack Daniels Diet Coke with a lime. Now, you could be drinking water, milk, coffee, tea, beer, wine, champagne. It's all going to come in a different little tumbler now, isn't it? Whatever your beverage of choice is, lift it high and toast to camaraderie. It's the mutual trust among people who spend a lot of time together. At least that's according to the dictionary. To me, though, it doesn't have to be a lot of time. More so, it just has to be time together often. My example comes from the weekly trivia I host at Chasers on Monday nights. Now, the usual suspects and teams now joke around with each other before and after. And I've realized that for some time now, this has been going on. But this past Monday night, I took some time to not simply be a part of the socializing, but to just watch and soak it all in. Plenty of ribbing, tons of smiles and laughter. So cheers to camaraderie. The Weekend Eve Toast is brought to you by Chasers, West 12th and Ellis Road. Stop in for great food, great beverages, and fun times. Monday nights at 7, we play Dave Holly Hour Trivia. This coming Monday, last Monday of the month, means it's Wild Card Trivia, where somehow everyone wins a prize. Chasers, your neighborhood gathering place. Honorable mention. What made Dave laugh, chuckle, chortle, downright slap my knees silly, or even shed some tears of happiness recently? Well, last Friday night, my love and I kept the tradition going by attending this year's Penguin Project High School Musical Junior, the yearly show that provides the opportunity for kids of all abilities to show their stage skills both on and off the stage. And as per usual, very lengthy, loud, and well-deserved standing ovation. Later in the show, John Gaskins from the Sioux Falls Canaries. In just a few minutes, an Old Town Dinner Theater actor, Josh Allen, on the Dave Holly Hour. Trio Jazz Club is an intimate music venue in the heart of Sioux Falls. It's family-owned and family-run. Ricardo and Mary Beth and the entire staff provide the art of hospitality, while the best local and regional musicians provide the smooth sounds. It's a great vibe with live music Tuesday through Saturday nights. The chefs and mixologists offer an amazing menu and beer and wine lists. Cocktails as smooth as the jazz. Join the club, Trio Jazz Club, across from the Washington Pavilion, Enter as friends, leave as family. Step into creativity at Serendipity Studio. All through August, explore their gallery art exhibit Pathways, an inspiring collection that invites you to reflect on the journeys that shape us, from the roads we travel to the transformations we experience. And this Saturday, the Atrium Makers Market is back. Wander through a lively indoor marketplace filled with handcrafted goods, unique art, and treasures made by talented local creators. Whether you're there to reflect, collect, or simply enjoy the atmosphere, Serendipity Studio is the perfect stop on your weekend path. Visit serendipitystudiosd.com for details.
Ladies, when it's time to give your nails some love, get that extra special treatment from Quality Nails on South Minnesota Avenue in Sioux Falls. Manicures and pedicures that look great and make you feel fantastic. Zaya and Tony don't simply provide the service, they provide professional care for your hands and feet. Whether you just want the basics or you're looking for an extra special look with an added flair. Oh, and guys, it's okay to treat yourself too. Quality Nails on Minnesota. Call for an appointment, 605-334-1463.
Arts and entertainment lovers, you hit the mark. It's the Dave Holly Hour.
Welcome back, everyone. I always say it because it's always true. I love to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment, and he hasn't been on for a while. We bring back, from at least his next show, we will say he's representing Old Town Dinner Theater. It is Josh Allen, or should we call you Matthew Leibowitz?
I'll respond to either.
Okay.
Although I do have an actual brother named Matthew, so it starts to get confusing really quick.
I bet so.
Yes.
That is the show that's coming up starting September 12th at Old Town down in Worthing, which always puts on an amazing show. I just love going down there, and it's such a fun atmosphere, and you get a great meal. It's tough to beat that. And people say, well, the tickets are low. No. Compare it when you put together a very, very good meal and you're seeing some high talent on that stage, and it is so fun. So tell us, why did you get interested in this particular one then, Josh?
Yeah, so it's actually a little bit of a step in a different direction from what audience members can typically expect from a Worthing show.
Okay.
Worthing really likes to lean into those comedies normally.
Right.
This is actually a much more serious relational drama. So I read the scripts prior to the audition process, and it just really rang true for me personally as far as it relates to a bit of my personal journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of our personal journeys, I think most of us will be able to relate to some of the characters in this show.
All right. So your personal journey, then, how does it relate then?
I guess when I think of, and I mean, I'm a lifelong student, of course, but especially when I think of my younger years, it's very easy to get stuck in your own mindset of thinking the world works in a particular way.
Right.
And that you know better. But time has taught me that I know very little in this world, and that's okay.
Yeah, I always I tell people this. Actually, it is true, but that I have a very high IQ, graduated cum laude from college, yet I am the dumbest person in the room.
It's hard to believe, but I do get the sentiment, Dave.
Yeah. Oh, so it was an attractive role for you. But you've played serious parts before.
Oh, yeah.
Everywhere else that you've been. But like you say, a little different then, especially for start of the season for Old Town.
Right. Yeah. It's a unique show as well, in the sense of no one's going to have seen this show.
Mm-hmm.
It's by a playwright who he's in the process of getting the show published. And in order to do that, part of the process is to have the show performed. So the show's been performed a couple times in the past, but not this particular version of the script.
Okay.
So for people who like a new experience, that's something else exciting, is
right.
People don't know this story being told in this way. So that is also something I find very exciting. I'm someone who If I'm going to go see a show, maybe there's a movie version. If I haven't seen it, I don't want to do research. I like that authentic new experience.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if people enjoy getting that, hopefully this is exciting from that aspect as well.
So tell us about your character then.
Yeah.
And how you get into it and what it's meant for you to expand.
Absolutely. So Matthew Leibowitz, we'll kind of talk a little bit about what you get to know right away about him. He is at the start of the show. He's going through kind of a tough time. He is a struggling writer who has, the type of jobs that when you think of people in LA trying to make it big, it's those types of jobs, right?
Server.
Yep, server, making pizzas, whatever
Yeah.
you have to do to make ends meet. But this, we find out, is a bit new for Matthew, as he's recently separated from his wife.
Oh.
And he used to be a writer for a soap opera that she starred in. But he decided that wasn't what he wanted to be doing with his life anymore. And there's a lot of strafe in the relationship. So that's that character. Maggie's played by Macy Moore. She's doing a fantastic job. We also have within there the estranged relationship with Matthew's father. You find out that Howard, which is my father, his wife, my mother, passed away about 3 years ago. And Howard has been borderline mute since this. He doesn't talk to anyone. He gives one-word answers. And it's very distressing on the family. Not only Matthew, who's always had a rough relationship with his father, but also his brother and sister-in-law, who Howard actively lives with. And Howard is being played by Dave Baumeister.
Okay.
My brother, whose name is Robert, is being played by John Hardcastle. And then Karen, which is my sister-in-law, is being played by Laurie. And you get to see some interesting dynamics on how two brothers can be completely different in relation to how they feel about their parent. And so I also really enjoy how the writing brings out just how different people's goals and ambitions can look based on how they were raised and how they view their surroundings.
Yeah. So what is it, because you've been in a lot of comedies, you've been in a lot of farce situations and so forth. What is it like when you move over and transition, and you do, but like we said, you have played serious parts before, but you're playing a more dramatic role. What kind of mindset do you have to get into to be doing that versus comedy?
Yeah. In my opinion, I think with comedy, a lot of times you can roll with the punches, and in both instances, timing is important, but for very different reasons. In comedy, I find the timing's important in the sense of typically your physicality, also in the timing that you deliver the lines, but more so because a comedic beat it's its own artistic piece that you need to be able to understand how it works and be able to deliver it to make people laugh. But in a drama, you're flexing a slightly different muscle. You're trying to help people understand your character, elicit different emotions, maybe even uncomfortable emotions. And you have to be comfortable with living in that space, a space that most of us don't live in on the day-to-day as well. So the other important distinction I would say is the research and the conversations around who are these people? Where were they before this?
Right.
Where are we now?
What's the backstory?
Exactly. I think backstory matters a lot more in a drama, because every single choice that you make can be drastically different depending on that backstory. Whereas in comedy, I think the script tends to guide you a bit more towards those comedic beats. So we've been having a lot of discussion around what exactly is our time frame? When did all the craziness that led us to this moment, how recent was that? How fresh are the wounds that are taking place? And it's been some very good discussion that's helped move all of us.
Who's directing this?
John Bowe.
John
the classic
J.
John Bowe, yes.
Awesome.
And he's expressed how this is, a bit different for him. He hasn't tackled a serious drama in a while. I will say, of course, that any serious drama needs some comedy too. You got to have those tension relievers, of course, and there is that in this show. But John's been doing such a great job finding those nuanced moments. And that's another thing I think in drama that we find can be really important is just a couple seconds can be so important to make people feel a certain way, and being able to nail those down. And I've really enjoyed the attention to detail he's already been putting into it. And we still have a lot of time to keep working on this.
Okay, so I'm going to go back a little bit, jump back. You just finished talking about, what you need to do for the dramatic role, but when you were talking about the comedic, how about that? I get a nice little message from Alexa every morning.
That's awesome.
And it makes the podcast finally.
There you go.
And, but when you mentioned, and the comedic beat is a piece of art, that I've never heard somebody say that.
Okay.
But you're so correct on that. When it comes to timing, it comes to blocking, and that old joke about, what do you really need to be successful in comedy? And somebody says, timing, and so you have to go with that. But a little difference in that way. What do you like specifically about the person that you're playing?
Oh, goodness. It's a mixed bag, Dave. I don't always like him, but that's the point, right? It's definitely a character where he's hurt. He's very hurt, and it's borderline annoying how he avoids dealing with some of this hurt and conflict and things like that, and just his approach to struggles in life. Luckily, I'll just say, without giving anything away, overall, I feel this is, a happy ending type story. Lessons are learned in the show. But anyone who knows me knows I also can have kind of two different sides. I can be a very serious person that like deep conversations, especially in the one-on-one.
Right.
But I also love witty banter, especially in group settings. And Matthew is all about sarcasm and wit and, having that last word, which can be fun. But also I'm like, ooh, come on, guy. Like, so.
Well, it's funny you mentioned the fact that, the character is separated from his wife, who started and created the soap opera that he was a writer for. And you always wonder about, those different tiffs and so forth. But soap operas overall have, for the most part, diminished.
Yeah.
They keep trying to bring one or two back. And then there's, I think like each network still has like one at least that they run. So what about that aspect of it? So it's not like he was writing for a great sitcom or anything.
Right.
How much did that play into the part, with your backstory for this character as to, what I need to bring out in that regard?
Yeah. So I'll be selective on how much I really get into, but that type of show and what that was, it's actually pretty deeply important to a lot of the beats in the show. Not actively, because that's part of his past.
Right.
I mean, in case I wasn't clear before, Maggie is an active actress in that soap opera, and then Matthew was a script writer.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm 62. Some things don't.
Oh no,
remember
you're
even
good.
In
and there's a chance I wasn't clear before, so good time as any to kind of clarify that. But I will say he realized that he didn't find that type of work fulfilling at all.
Okay.
He felt it was extremely surface level, and it's all about, which very comparable to media today. It's all about grabbing attention rather than talking about things that might be important. Even just about the human condition and what people are about and the beauty of what we can find in writing. And those are the things that Matthew stubbornly even holds on to. And so that's one of the few ways that conflict does arise.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. I've heard the title before, but didn't know much about the show.
Yeah.
And so great to hear what it is. Of course, I believe we're going to be there on Saturday, the 20th of September.
Okay.
Is the dates that we have for our table. And 5 weekend run again?
Yes. Yep,
Okay.
the classic. It's I'm trusting it's 5 weeks. It's pretty much middle of September through the middle of October.
Yeah.
Yep. So interesting time frame. I realized just recently, I'm really hoping my allergies are kind to me because I am a fall allergy type person,
okay.
but it's always like a small period, then we're good for
Right.
the rest of winter. So crossing my fingers that, maybe if I'm just outside a little more than normal, I'll adjust quicker. But I recently had that thought. So if I sound weird, that's why.
Well, for me, it's springtime allergies.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get those too. It's always-
Ragweed comes out and I'm done for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the harvest that really gets me.
Oh,
So, yep,
okay.
got pollen allergies and all of
Yeah.
that. And
fun.
yep, it's a good time. But so for anyone
Well,
else,
we'll forgive you if that is the case. I have the
appreciate
feeling. It's
Oh.
always a forgiving crowd down there, too.
absolutely.
Audiences are absolutely fantastic. So, one of the things that we like to talk about is the collaboration. So, yes, you're in Old Town.
Mhm.
You've been at TPP.
Mhm.
Let's see. You've been with Goodnight Theater.
Correct.
Um,
Goodness.
who else? Have you been with Monstrous?
Nope,
Monstrous?
not Monstrous and not Corson.
Okay.
I am a regular goer to their shows,
Yes.
though. They do wonderful work.
Yeah.
And then the Broadcast Theater, back when that was a group,
Right.
I've done a little bit with them.
Yes.
And then Theater Lab.
Theater Lab now.
Yep, their inaugural
Yes.
show. I'm excited to come support them right before we
I
open
know it,
us.
yeah.
So
The weekend before.
timing's working out for that one.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So.
We've gone to the Graham Wilson style of scheduling.
Okay.
Everything that we could be possibly interested in, we put on the calendar now.
Yes.
And then we narrow it down from that and look
Right.
at each date. Oh, can't do that. We could do that over here. So, flip flop back and forth. But
Which is one of those appreciations I have for the long run too. It's like,
True.
You guys don't have many excuses if I'm going for 5 weekends,
Right.
right? But,
and so from start to finish, from the audition until
Mhm.
the 5 weekend run is over, what are we looking at? 11, 12 weeks, probably?
something like that. We actually, and I think it's thanks to it being the first show, we have a really long rehearsal period for this.
Mhm.
And I'm being speculative, but perhaps there's a little bit of, John wanting to make sure there was enough time to tackle an area he hasn't in a while.
Right.
But we just started our Act 1 off book, meaning no scripts,
Right.
on Sunday. And then on Wednesday, we do our Act 2 off book. And we still have about 2.5 weeks before we open, which is
Yeah.
an abnormal amount of time, as any, of my colleagues that act will tell you. So I'm really appreciative of that, though,
Yeah.
because the more nuanced we can get, the more we can drive into making each moment count as much as possible. It'll just help the end product, even though I imagine we'll all be a little tired by the time we get there, but it'll be well worth it.
What is your process for memorizing lines?
Oh yeah, it's changed a bit over the years. Because part of it comes with a little bit of what's the situation, right? And with other desert cities, just based off people's schedules, we were asked to actually be prepared to be off book by the time we started getting together.
That's right.
So obviously that looked very unique compared to anything I'd done before. Mr. Aaron Sharp and I spent many hours together struggling. Whereas with this time, knowing we have more time, I'm being kinder to myself, because I am pretty present throughout this script. So I try to, a lot of it is just read through, and then once the rehearsal shows my weaknesses, then I know where I can hone in,
Mhm.
rather than spending a lot of unnecessary time in areas that my brain just can recall easily. So it's mostly just trying to consistently read through that script to get that familiarity up.
Yeah, I know the one time when I had a pretty good-sized role,
Mhm.
there was one scene that when we would go through that, I was just flubbing. And then the Sunday afternoon rehearsal before the show starts, I finally get it.
There's no bigger relief.
Oh, wow.
Than getting over that hurdle.
Yep. And in fact, we stopped rehearsal and the director applauded.
Yes, I love that.
That's a fun way to do it, though. But what's the joy for you of getting on stage?
Oh man, there's a lot of aspects to it. I've probably said this in the one or two times that I've been with you before, but the connections with the other actors is huge to me, right? Being able to share these moments, build stronger friendships. I knew almost everyone except for Dave Baumeister in this cast, but to get to spend more time with these people and relate to them in different ways and have discussions about characters in the way that we do. I just love doing that with people. It's really fun, really good. And then you get the whole other side once you've done the work, and then you get audiences and you can discuss, especially with a show like this, some of the philosophy about what the show means to people, what they got out of it, what they liked and didn't like. And I think that's all just really fun and worthwhile and creates for great connections with the people who come to see it as well. So I don't know. I appreciate the whole process, to be honest.
What is your feeling when you get a standing ovation?
Oh, goodness. I think it kind of depends a little bit on the show, to be honest. I think with a show like this, it's already a bit emotionally draining. So I imagine it might feel a little overwhelming in a good way. Versus shows that are a little more lighthearted. It's just, it's more kind of an elation. And just an appreciation that people are, choosing to spend their time coming to see theater. Like that will never be something that gets old to me. Especially in these big runs, to even have, at least some people there every night. Like that's such an amazing thing.
Yeah, the first time I ever got a standing ovation, I wept.
Oh,
yeah. It was actually on a bucket list.
Okay.
I had it on that, and boom, because it was
amazing.
I was 50 something when that happened. So it's always great though to see you on stage. What has been your favorite role?
Goodness, that is a question. I'll kind of give two different answers. One, interestingly enough, it was the least typical theatery thing I've done since being in the community. It was probably the animated Cabaret with Goodnight, and the reason was because that was so unnatural for me. There were so many aspects of it that were like, you are in over your head. This is not natural for you. You're definitely not a dancer. But to push myself and to even get as far as I did and be able to get through things and do okay at it, like that was meaningful in the way for anyone who can look at a skill that you don't naturally have and be able to walk away saying, wow, I really did some hard work, and to a capacity it paid off. It stands out to me in that regard, going against the grain. So a favorite in the sense of proud of what I was able to commit to. Favorite as far as shows in general, I think because it was early on and because I'm still pretty close with about everybody in that cast, Lombardi with the Premier Playhouse was a big one for me. Because it wasn't even just the cast, it was the crew. There's still people I talked to. People were super supportive. It was such a weird show in the sense of it was a sports show. And then people didn't expect it to be actually more of a relationship drama.
Exactly.
I don't think people knew what to expect. No. I didn't know what to expect prior to diving into the piece. And
I feel sorry for those that didn't attend because of that thought.
I mean,
they missed something amazing.
I do get it, because it's like, I'm not a sports guy insofar as like you could get me to play a sport before you could get me to watch one. But it is fun to subvert those expectations and just go in and see what something's going to be, and then be surprised and interested by what it was. That was a really cool experience. And yeah, that one will stick with me. Like, there's been a lot of greats, don't get me wrong, but if you're going to make me pick a particular, that one probably will always stick out to me.
All right. What about the role you haven't played that you wish to?
Ooh. So this is one where who knows if it'll ever happen, but the little dark side of me that grew up loving Johnny Depp and Tim Burton work, and was my initial introduction to the piece. I would love to play Sweeney Todd, which I don't know. I think I could surprise people with something like that. But it would be interesting. I just really like that character. Like the weird part of my brain that people don't see too much just finds that fun to dive into the absurdity. So,
all right. Final question. Since you are a returning guest, you don't get the usual, what do you do, for entertainment outside of being involved in it. So what is Josh Allen's mantra? What's that one word or phrase?
Oh man, yeah, that's such a good one. And this has been something that's come up more recent in my life, and I don't even remember where I found the word, but it came up a couple times, and it's interesting. It's the word ikigai. Have you heard of this before?
I have not.
Okay, it's Japanese.
Okay.
And what it means is what you find joy in that gives you purpose. And to some degree, I do find that in acting, but it's actually, to me, what it also rings true in is that concept of like when you think of career, you spend the majority of your hours doing what you're going to do in your career. And so if you can find joy and purpose in what you do, that is your ikigai. And I think many of us, and to be honest, up to this point in my life, I have not had that. I've more so just found a job that can pay the bills.
Right.
But I'll say it on here because I'm very committed to this idea that it's going to all pan out. I actually am going back to school.
Oh, congrats.
Yeah, I'm doing a show with Goodnight in the winter, or I guess it'll be February is when we actually put it on. And then in March, I'm going to go back to school, get a psychology degree, and then work towards becoming a private practice therapist is my long-term goal for the next 5 to 6 years.
You have any clients lined up yet?
Not yet.
Okay, count me in.
All right. Without the education, there might be conflict of interest going on there, but we'll sort it out.
All right, sounds like a deal.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, always a pleasure to talk to you about the theater and just to see you in general. You're such a fun person to be around. Thank you so much for taking time to be on the show again.
Well, thank you, Dave. It's always awesome to talk with you. You always have great questions.
I appreciate that. We'll be back with more of the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment. The lights are low, the stage is set. Welcome to Trio Jazz Club. Tonight, feel the sunshine soul of Jacob Khalil, a singer-songwriter whose voice uplifts and inspires straight from the heart of New York's music scene. Enjoy an intimate evening with Brett Cooper on their baby grand piano, filling the room with warmth and elegance on Tuesday night. And Wednesday evening, experience the big vocals and undeniable energy of Tara Faber, blending rock, blues, and soul into a show that grabs your attention from the very first note. With all other shows this week already sold out, don't wait. Secure your tickets now at triojazzclub.com because at Trio, the best nights aren't just heard, they're felt.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
For him, every day is a Holly day. Here again, Dave Holly.
Welcome back, everybody. Always a pleasure to talk Sioux Empire arts and entertainment. Sometimes we expand that a little bit, and we talk about the entertainment of sports, and we do so again today. And I do mean the word again. He is still up top the leaderboard, I believe, in total appearances on the Dave Holly Hour.
Yes.
From the Sioux Falls Canaries, John Gaskins. How are you, my friend?
And I'm serious when I say I wouldn't rather be anywhere than right here and right now. I love hanging out with Dave
appreciate
Holly,
it.
the Dipsy Doodle Studios on a beautiful summer's day.
Yes, it is.
In August, where we're transitioning from the exciting stretch run of baseball to the fever of football that totally hijacks our lives, at least some of us sports fans. And it's an exciting time of the year.
That it is. And it's a very exciting time of the year for the Sioux Falls Canaries, as they are playing quite well. You got two big weekends coming up. Tell us about that. First of all, tell us where we are in terms of, making the playoffs, et cetera, and then how everything else is going to tie into it.
Making the playoffs for a third straight year, the way you qualify for the playoffs in their league, they're 11 games ahead of the next team that would somehow catch them with, we have, I think 13 games left in the season. 6 of them will be at the Birdcage. So they're looking great. I mean, they've been playing really well most of the year. Like any baseball team, they've had a couple of dips and dives, but they have been amongst the best hitting team, highest scoring team in the league. They hit the most home runs. They had 7 guys who are all-stars. The Birdcage, just for the baseball, aside from all the ways we try to put smiles on people's faces with our production out there, and it is a show, as we've said many times. Yeah. It's amazing. When people go into the ballpark, they can sit in the big yellow chair. We play all kinds of genres of music all game long. We have all kinds of little comedy bits that drop in here and there in 5-second to 30-second things and waves. And we play all kinds of games with fans. There's all kinds of fun things on the video board. There's the playground for the kids. But even if most of the people, and I always think 95% of the people who go into the Birdcage every single game, they have no idea what the Canaries record is. They may have heard that the team might be good this year. The team might not be so good, but they really don't know, and they really don't care. They couldn't name one player on the team. They just know going to a Canaries game is a Sioux Falls summer tradition for over 30 years. If this is one of the things in town to do in the summer. And yet, when they get there, if the team's not up 2-0, 3-0, 4-0, or if they trail that early, and that happens, it's baseball, it's not as fun, and it's harder work for the rest of us to kind of jolt people. It's okay. I mean, there's plenty of other things here besides the winning and the losing, but they have the second best home record in the league. It's a great home field advantage for many reasons. The team is put together very well and has awesome players and an awesome manager, and awesome owners. But it's a lot more fun when they get out of the gates and start playing well and get some hits. You get a home run within the first 2 or 3 innings. And for me, I just always kind of go, whew, okay. Every kid, every adult, they came here, they got to see a home run by the Canaries. They got to see some cool things happening. They make a bunch of cool plays in the outfield and in the infield. I mean, they've got great defensive players. They've got some athletes, and they're not going to win every game, and they're not going to score a bundle of runs every game. But when you go out there, you're going to have at least 1 or 2 plays by the Canaries that you're going to go, wow, that was incredible. And we had one game recently that I can tell you about that was the most amazing baseball game I've ever seen, won by the Canaries. Most amazing game you could see, and if you explained to people what happened in it, they wouldn't believe it. But you're not going to get that every night. But you're probably going to get a team that's going to get a lot of hits and runs, and they win about twice as much as they lose when they are at the Birdcage. So it's a really good team, and they're going to go to the playoffs for a third straight year. And this is after they spent about 10 of the 11 years before that losing a lot.
Yeah, to the point that everyone was concerned whether Mike Myers would continue.
Oh, I mean, most managers would have been fired. Yeah. Mike Myers, our manager, he just on Sunday became the winningest manager in the history of the Canaries, which is kind of a dubious honor. That means he's been here for a while, but also it's an organization that's been lovable losers for most of their existence. But the guy he just passed was his mentor. Steve Shirley guided the Canaries to their only title in 2008, their best season ever in 2010. And Mike learned from him. But when Mike took over, it just was one of the least resourceful teams in the league, with one of the worst fields, one of the worst clubhouses. Players didn't want to come here. And the best way I can make a long story short was he wanted to be here. He just loved the city of Sioux Falls. He loved what he had built with Steve Shirley when he was an assistant. And he tried twice to take over the Canaries after Steve Shirley was fired, and he didn't get it. And third time was a charm. And then he went through 5 or 6 losing seasons. And then we got new owners who all of a sudden pumped money and confidence into Mike. He did a great sales job for himself with his vision, and to be like, just give me some tools and we'll get some players and we'll win a bunch of games. And it took 3 years of the new ownership for that to happen. And after the first 2, I remember the owners telling me, not so sure, but they stuck with them. And it's just been so beautiful to see how well the Canaries play, because we always have a blast out there. But to see them win so much, and for that guy to be the guy still guiding the ship, it's been cool.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And of course, you just mentioned the fact that your people will get out there and they will have plenty to see, including some characters. I know there's a couple that have a resemblance to you that happen to sing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a guy that some guy that I think he's Neil Diamond's relation or something.
On Thursday, Friday, or Saturday nights in the middle of the 6th inning, you will hear our public address announcer, Randy Preston, who, like me, is a former high school theater kid, a theater mind at heart. And for me, it's a jolt of electricity as the hype guy, the dork on the microphone, the game show host, whatever you want to call my role, to hear Randy belt out the words. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Birdcage, Grammy Award-winning artist, Neil Diamond, nephew. Done. And so I come out there with my bald head and my orange pineapple and martini or margarita glasses hat and pineapple glasses, and with Neil Diamond. I don't do karaoke. We play Neil's voice.
Right.
And we belt out Sweet Caroline, and that's a tradition completely stolen from the Boston Red Sox, and they probably stole it from someone else. But everybody knows the song Sweet Caroline, and every time I try to get a group of people, whether they're a group of seasoned citizens or college kids or somewhere in between, everybody knows Sweet Caroline. And it starts out slow, and you can feel the energy at the start people are just kind of looking at you with dead looks in their eyes. And then all of a sudden it rises, and then you get to the chorus, and Sweet Caroline, and everybody goes ba ba ba, and then it completely changes into this dopamine rush. So that's and
what a life we'll live when we live.
Everybody's
ba 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 is something, a highlight for us.
It is.
Yeah,
it is. It's a micro example of just the several to dozens of things that happen throughout any game where, you just see people go, this is why I came out to this. This is why I come out of the house to go do anything, plays, games, concerts. This is it.
All right. And then, of course, 7th inning stretch.
That's when Harry Canary comes out. And I think most of the audience realizes Harry Canary is a spinoff of Harry Carey, the most lovable, if not famous, baseball announcer of all time. Of course, mostly because of Will Ferrell's impression on Saturday Night Live, which just took the character into a massive caricature. But yeah, it's Harry Carey has always gone up there. Older guy, silver hair, big Coke bottle glasses, and maybe he's drunk, maybe he's not. But he's always in
better chance that he is.
And I don't know of any other baseball announcer on the planet who's just calling the games on the radio or TV, and then he's the guy who at Wrigley Field for the Cubs home games is the guy that sings "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." So that's something we got going. And for a guy like me who's had a Harry Carey impression his whole life,
yes,
grew up
you
watching
have.
Harry and loving him, and using any excuse, a podcast, a radio show, Halloween out at the bars in college to do it, to be able to do it 50 games a year.
I think he even showed up at a trivia game one time.
Did I?
Yes.
Okay.
You can't recall that, huh?
There's a lot of things I don't remember. My life is a blur. But yeah, it's and of course the best Harry Carey story that I love to tell. The folks at the ballpark, the fans of my age and older mostly, who actually knew who he was, they know the reference. Because not everybody does, especially the kids. The kids just think there's some goofy guy in gray hair and glasses with a yellow Birds jersey on.
But still, you've made it a character that they can say, yeah, that Harry Canary.
You see some Cubs fans there, and you see people, and then you walk up and dudes will start doing their Harry Carey impression. And then you got two Harry Careys talking to each other. And the best story I always tell is on a Cubs broadcast in the 80s, Wrigley Field's popping. It's a social thing to do. And it's really hot outside, and the women are all wearing like halter tops, and the men are all shirtless, and everybody's just getting drunk and having a ball, and the cameras are on it, cutting away to the crowd a lot. And there's a attractive couple, co-eds. Yeah, you got it. I've told this one on the podcast before, but Harry Carey doesn't say anything the first time they show this early in the game. And then a couple innings later, again, these two are making out again. It's like they've got a camera guy only on this couple for the whole game. But you're waiting for Harry Carey, who's got an incredible sense of humor and timing, to say something witty, and he doesn't do it until the fourth time late in the game. They're making out again. And he just says to his producer, he says, "Ha, Artie, I see what's been going on. He's kissing her on the strikes, and she's kissing him on the balls." And to share that joke and that moment, I've done it a million times now with fans who actually appreciate the character that I'm doing the caricature of. Again, just a big dopamine rush.
Yeah. Fun times out there. All right, so 3 at home this weekend, 3 at home next weekend.
Yeah.
Right. And that'll be playoffs time right after that. So what sort of themes, fun things do we have in mind for these two big weekends?
Right. Well, for one, I'm going to actually jump ahead of time to Friday, August 29th, because that is Kids Night.
Oh, there
and
we
it
go.
should just be called Free Tickets for Kids Night.
Oh.
So it's always one of our
best yet.
It's one of our biggest crowds of the year for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
There's free tickets for kids. And we've got some generous sponsors who help provide that. And so everything about the evening is geared toward kids. It's more like some of our day games where a bunch of daycares come out and the whole ballpark is just 2,000 screaming kids. The players and myself on the staff, the entertainment staff, those are all our favorite days because kids don't hold back.
Right.
I mean, adults, some nights when the crowds are smaller, maybe it's Tuesday or Wednesday, it's not a fireworks Friday. South Dakotans and Upper Midwesterners, Northwest Iowans, we're very nice, laid back people. And we're going to a baseball game, maybe to just enjoy a nice evening. And, some of the things that we're trying to do to entertain and get them going, get them clapping, but especially with the early part of the baseball game, just I would call it a Lutheran pot roast.
There you
Lutheran
go.
casserole pot roast. Nothing wrong with that.
Casserole.
Sometimes the energy isn't electric. With kids, from the first pitch on a kid's day or a kid's night, it's just feverishly they're just, Randy, our PA announcer, just says, "Okay, the magic word is Canaries." And like every kid's show you ever saw that has a magic word, Pee-wee's Playhouse, or I'm sure Captain Kangaroo had one, and the magic word is Canaries. The kids are screaming. All I have to do to get chants going, I don't have to do anything. I just, I say Jabari, you say
Henry.
Jabari.
Hen.
First couple times I do that with adults, are kind of like, who is this idiot? And why is he trying to what are we at, a high school game? Eventually people catch on and they enjoy it. But anyway, when there's all kids in the crowd, it's just, I think as we all get older, kids, and if we don't have our own kids to tend to and look after, having kids around in any social environment out in public, for the most part, except airplane rides, it's refreshing and nice to be around the innocent energy of kids. So anyway, that's Friday night kids night, and there are free tickets for kids.
And as a former children's entertainer,
yes,
I want to pass along something to parents.
Yeah.
Let them be creative. Don't hush them and think that they're embarrassing you.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
I would
let them be.
Yes. We're going to have a Fireworks Friday this upcoming Friday night, August 22nd, and Native American Heritage Night, August 23rd.
Okay.
Which I'm thrilled about because in the last few years we've had Negro League Appreciation Night. Brought in probably the Negro League's foremost historian, Phil Dixon, to come in and sign his books and tell some stories. And we've had Pride Night for the Canaries, for the LGBTQ community for a few years. And we've had the Festival of Cultures, which is basically a Canaries version of the Festival of Cultures that we have every year downtown, to just kind of signify just how diverse and how many countries and places in the world people come from and live here, and how awesome that is to meet people from other places and cultures and to get to know them. And so, of course, this being South Dakota, it's probably overdue that we have a Native American appreciation, or as we're calling it, Heritage Night. So that's going to be on Saturday, this upcoming Saturday, August 23rd. And then a week from that, the night after Kids Night on August 30th is College Night. And that probably speaks for itself. We're going. Do
they have to bring their college ID?
Those who bring their college ID are likely going to get a discount. And then the rest of it is encouraging. If you're a Jackrabbit, wear your Jackrabbit stuff. If you're a Coyote, wear your Coyote stuff, Husker stuff, Hawkeye stuff.
Come in your gear.
Yeah, it's just kind of like for Christmas in July. Wear an ugly Christmas sweater to the game. Have some fun. Be a part of the theme. It isn't just. It's not. The celebration isn't just limited to the music or what the staff is wearing. Have some fun with it. And we're also going to have a game on Sunday, August 31st, which is always Sunday Family Fun Day, which means anybody, kids of all ages, can play catch in the outfield before the game, run the bases after the game, while the Canaries are sitting there, each and every one of them signing autographs until the very last person.
Is it okay if I use a cane to
absolutely
go around the bases?
You can use a cane to run. You can walk, you can crawl the bases. We should have a baby race crawling the bases. And then Labor Day is Fan Appreciation Day, Labor Day. That's always a day where we've got plenty of prizes up our sleeves for fans, mostly merchandise that we, may or may not be trying to clear out. But it's people's chance to
more
win.
Fun than just going to a clearance sale.
A lot of fun prizes and souvenirs throughout the day. It's kind of like every Canaries game is like being at a game show between innings. But that's a mega game show on MEGA game show on Labor Day, September 1st, because you got a lot of chances to win some cool stuff.
Yes.
It's kind of a free-for-all.
MEGA.
Yeah, I just want to make that.
Yep, I got it.
Mega.
All right. Hey, so thank you for talking about the Canaries, but we have something else we need to talk about.
Sure.
Because you've been a fellow podcaster for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, you're actually one of those guys. It's part of your full-time job now.
Yeah.
Tell us about the gig that you have. First of all, the podcast, Happy Hour with John Gaskins.
Yes.
And where can people find it? How do we get in touch with making sure that we don't miss this show?
It's called Happy Hour with John Gaskins.
Yeah.
So just Google that. That's the easiest thing to do, and you'll find the places to get it. But it's on any podcast platform, Spotify and Apple, anywhere you get it. But it is, our home base is SiouxFallsLive.com, which in my opinion has replaced the old newspaper as the best source of print journalism that we have in Sioux Falls and the state of South Dakota. I mean, we have a former editor-in-chief of the Argus Leader, Patrick Lally, runs the thing now and is our main column writer and just the man about town with all the important political news and current events. Matt Zimmer best sports writer in the state that's still actively sports writing. He jumped ship and covers mainly the Jackrabbits because SDSU is easily the biggest and most popular sports entity within these borders for obvious reasons. And it's a very talented cast, and we bring in the Dakota Scout with a couple of Argus veterans as well. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure I let people know about SiouxFallsLive.com first and foremost. It's just an excellent source for trusted investigative news and reporting about our town, and that's included sports coverage. And it's almost 3 years old now, SiouxFallsLive.com, but. I got to know Patrick Lally, who's the boss, and he's always been kind of trying to nudge me when I was at Dakota News Now as a part-time news reporter, fill-in anchor, sports guy, that, we could use, we want to start doing some new things over at SiouxFallsLive.com. And so they kind of wanted me to be a sports person of some sort so I could get back into daily sports coverage and commentating, because my trade for 15 years until about 5 years ago was daily sports talk radio, including 7 years here in Sioux Falls. And so anyway, eventually I just said, well, how about we do a show? Because they were thinking about me going and covering games or doing traditional sports casts like you see every night, or feature stories like you see on the news. I said, let's just do a show. I mean, frankly, because that's easier. It's easier for me. It's easier for them. It's way easier for me. I can sit somewhere, a studio, my house, a bar, and I can just talk about sports and have guests. And B, it's easier for them. It's more entertaining. It's just more entertaining. And, we're one of 5 million or so podcasts on the planet, just like you. Everybody's got to have their own niche. Our own niche is local sports, but just like every podcast, you better not be boring. And that's Patrick Lally's big line. Just please don't be boring. And so these are, I have monologues like any late night talk show or sports talk show that's hosted by a solo host. Topics of the day, my opinions on it that are hopefully both a unique and entertaining spin on what we already know that is happening. And then, 1 or 2 guests per show. So far, it's been 1 guest a show, and it's been like a traditional 1 guest podcast where we go a half hour, 45 minutes, an hour, and talk to somebody about their life and their job and tell fun stories. And it's more of a conversation than an interview. And to circle it all back to the title, Happy Hour, the whole point is to make you feel like you're saddled up to the bar at happy hour with a good friend. And if it's a new friend, then we're just getting to know them the way we would with a couple beers and maybe a little 1 or 2 beer buzz going. And so some of these shows literally are taped at a local sports bar here in town. Gateway Lounge or Gibbs, both owned by the Renchlers.
Yep. Loving Gibbs, by the way.
I am too. The brunch on, I haven't had it yet, but I just keep hearing about the brunch on, I actually have had it on a Sunday morning, but they do it on Saturdays. Gateway's an old staple out there on 41st and I-29. And then the Orion Pub, owned by our good friend John Oppold, one of the best community stewards of Sioux Falls I can imagine, and a brilliant creative marketing mind, the owner of Sonny's Pizzeria, and now the Orion Pub, which is, a respite, I guess, a haven for people who just want a good old-fashioned neighborhood pub downtown. We love the cocktail bars, and Johnny and I are cocktail happy hour buddies for several years on Fridays, and we love the upscale cake eater places, but he owns and runs a good old-fashioned neighborhood pub, which is a perfect setting to do our show, and he allows us to do our show there. So that's, normally the guests, we've kept it very South Dakota. Mm-hmm. My sports show is a little more regional. There's a lot of Minnesota Vikings, and when they're good or controversial, and they're more controversial than good this year, the Minnesota Twins. Some Huskers and some Hawkeyes, but the bread and butter for the first several months has been we're establishing ourselves. There's a big market for Jackrabbit and Coyote fans, not just to read about their teams or listen to their games, pregame show, postgame show, weekly coaches show. Let's
get into who they are.
Let's dig into what's going on with the team right now. And I mean, brand new coach and brand new coaching staff, and 15 of their players left with the old coach out to Washington State. But also, so get to know their players, but also interviewing some of their legends, their all-time best players. So if you're a Jack fan, Taryn Christian, Austin Sumner, Zach Zenner. I mean, legends. John Stiegelmeier, their former head coach. I interviewed him here in your studio when I was trying to figure things, how to do everything on my own. So thank you for that. So, and we do the same for the Coyote fan bases, and we've had some Augie and USF legends as well. And it's just been a blast because I think most of these guests, most of whom I've already, had some sort of relationship with, enjoy the relaxed, conversational, memory lane nature of it.
Yeah, not the what were you doing on the night of.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
Why did you call that particular play?
Yeah. So, and of course, when you're trying to come up with a new show, sometimes you can just, you have such a presence and such a fun name with a great ring to it, like Dave Holly, that you can just call it the Dave Holly Hour. Everybody in the
every day's a holiday.
Everybody in the entertainment community knew who you are. But I think Happy Hour, although it's not the only show on the planet that's called Happy Hour, I've had segments on my past talk shows in Sioux Falls and Lincoln called Happy Hour, whether it's to try out different drinks from a liquor distributor who's a sponsor, a new beer and a new wine every week, or whether it's Mike Hendrickson, an old sportscasting legend here in Sioux Falls. We had him on Fridays on my old radio show. We called it Happy Hour with Mike Hendrickson because every time you chat with Mike Hendrickson, it's like you're having beers with him at a bar.
Yeah.
And so I got to do that with him on my own show. And that was just like the ultimate sweet spot of the show. So Happy Hour is the title. It's a fun title. It's a state of mind, but that's how we also literally like to fashion the show.
All right. You are a repeat guest. Repeat. I think I got them all in there.
Yeah.
So you get a different question now than you've had in the past.
Okay.
The new question is, what is John Gaskins' mantra, word or phrase?
Fake it till you make it? I don't know.
That's actually been used, I think. Somebody has said that on the here.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm the kind of person that enjoys those kind of corny one-liner mantras about life to follow, and yet I'm stumped on the spot. But I think I'm 46 years old, just got back from a vacation in Colorado where my husband and I were just we're exploring and soaking up everything as we could. Fort Collins, Estes Park, Boulder, and Denver, all in 5 days. A little ambitious.
Very.
But we tried to stop along the way and smell all the roses and the pine trees and the fine cocktails and get a combo of hiking and biking plus, okay, what are the cool bars and restaurants and where do people like to go? And is there live music here or there? So whether it's you only live once or bleep or get off the pot, by the time you get to be 46, you've had you've had plenty of close people to you leave us, including my mom in her sleep 12 years ago at the age of 63. And then you hear stories about like a 21-year-old South Dakota State running back who had transferred from Wisconsin and was in his 6 months in Brookings, South Dakota. His life was literally revived, but because he was going to be the guy, and where he was buried, and he probably wasn't going to play at Wisconsin, and he just loved the place. And to the point where his mom was asking coaches and teammates after she saw him smiling, jumping, dancing, celebrating at a practice. It's like, is that Nate? Is that my son? And then he just died in his sleep a couple of months ago. And I have a 22-year-old. I have a 25-year-old. And you imagine that happening to them. Again, it's really cheesy, but that obviously displays that if take the trip, go to the concert.
I think yours is that.
What's that?
Take the trip.
Yeah, sure, that's a good one.
That would be a good one.
Take the trip
because you two travel a lot.
We do, and it's not because we make zillions of dollars. We just and I think you and Carrie are the same way. What we value most is getting out, doing the things, eating the food, enjoying the music, hitting the road or the airways every now and then to see something new and exciting, or old and exciting. But just do it. I mean, that's the great philosopher Nike. But
hers would be day drink.
We did some of that. People think like I talked about it yesterday on my podcast just because I'd been gone for a week and people had filled in for me, but I'm trying to succinctly talk about what I did. we drank a lot. But we also hiked and biked before that, and drove to the next town and enjoyed our drives. But with either just us two or a bunch of friends that live out there, everything was kind of centered around the next meal or happy hour, responsibly and moderately, and just to enjoy it. So those are kind of the things that I live for. I know it's the kind of the things that you live for as well.
That's very true. Yeah.
Because you were just in...
let's see, it was in St. Louis.
Yeah.
We were in Chicago. I had also been down to Nashville to see my sister.
Yeah.
We get out and about, and we're already looking at what are we going to plan for next year.
Right.
Yeah. And you know what may be on that list?
Yeah.
And this is something that you have been talking about for years.
Mm-hmm.
We're hoping to go to a Savannah Bananas game.
Well, the Savannah Bananas. First of all, good for you. I mean, they do appear to be a lot of fun.
It's entertainment from what I can see.
It's the Harlem Globetrotters now,
right.
But it's more than the Harlem Globe. It's Harlem Globetrotters meets Broadway, basically.
Yeah.
With mostly, let's be real, very attractive, fit young lads who women and gay men are really appealed to.
Yeah.
Because they have a big theater and musical aspect to it as well. But any baseball-loving dude is going to, because they still play a baseball game, and you can't help but be bowled over by their talents, whether they appeal to you physically or not. So I get it.
Well, besides the actual baseball score, they get trick play counts and all this and so forth. And, it's funny because, the teams that they play are basically Washington Generals.
Right.
From Harlem Globetrotters. Yep. But they now have a bunch of different teams that are following suit-wise, and I do kind of mean suit in terms of the way that they have their uniforms, etc. But they're getting some old ball players on there, too.
Sure.
A.J. Brzezinski was somebody that was on one of the games the other night.
Nice.
So
yeah,
it's kind of fun. A guy like that can still go out and just have fun with the game.
Yeah, I mean, the party animal. I mean, the Bananas are the home team, but the party animals are just every guy who is hired there. They need to know how to play a little baseball, but they are all entertainers with incredible senses of humor. And it's a major, like everything else in entertainment now, major emphasis on social media, TikTok presence. Who can come up with the next cute, cool,
what will go viral
TikTok thing where you're lip syncing or doing some sort of physical stunt. So they are brilliant, and they're an inspiration to ball clubs like us. But I mean, I started to kind of hear about them because when I started working for the Canaries a few years ago, they were just a thing in Savannah that my boss knew about. And he's like, you should, that's one of the first things I did my first day on the job when I was in charge. I'm no longer, but when I was in charge of kind of Canaries entertainment and marketing was, watch this story, see how a little minor league team in Savannah, college wood bat team, turned an empty stadium, boring baseball into a cultural entertainment event. And since they have grown in stature and popularity, if I had a nickel for every time people both around town and at the ballpark, hey, have you heard of the Savannah Bananas? Yes.
I heard of them through you.
But don't expect us, we're in a real professional baseball.
Right.
This is an exhibition baseball. The league has rules. And the job is to win games, fill the seats. And so we try to take it as far as we can take it with our players' talents and what they're willing to do on social media. And also with whatever we can do within the confines of the league. Like we have a minute and a half between innings to entertain people, and then let's get back to the baseball. Yeah. So anyway.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we will let you get back to your job of hosting a podcast.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I got to go to a bar and have a couple drinks and talk to some friends. It's awesome.
All right. John Gaskins, always a pleasure, my friend.
Dave, my pleasure. Thank you.
All right. And we'll be back to wrap up the Dave Holly Hour in just a moment.
Dr. Perry Langston and Dr. Corey Tooney know excellence is in you. That's why they provide you with excellent care at XO Chiropractic, improving your overall health in spirit, body, mind, and will. Get results the natural way. Arrange a consultation, 605-332-9235 or exokairos.com. Excellent care for excellent people. XO Chiropractic, located at 4309 South Racket Drive in Sioux Falls.
People ask him where he got his top shelf voice. Dime store? Bargain. Once again, here's Dave Holly.
Thanks again to my incredible guests, Josh Allen and John Gaskins. Both of this week's guests have appeared on the show before. To find out what they've talked about in past episodes, use the search button on DaveHolleyHour.com. All 288 episodes available to you anytime you want to hear them. Thank you all for supporting local arts, for taking the time to download, listen, and share the show. I encourage you to find your art. Find the art you enjoy. Find the art you're interested in trying. And we'll see you in the arts. As the Sioux Falls Arts Council says, together we art. As Arts South Dakota says, home is where the art is. As I say, put some art in your heart. Remember, my name is Dave Holly, and for me, every day is a holiday.
The Dave Holly Hour has been brought to you by Trio Jazz Club, Sioux Falls' premier jazz club. Serendipity Studio Gallery and Gifts, Chasers Food and Spirits, Excel Chiropractic, Quality Nails, and the Sioux Falls Arts Council. Stay up to date on the show by following on Instagram and Facebook. All episodes available anytime at DaveHolleyHour.com. The Dave Holly Hour is produced in the Dipsy Doodle Studios by Big D Entertainment.
Thanks for listening.